Elam, have you ever heard of his courtroom?
He's fun. Fortunately, not for anything serious. I think when I was in fourth, I actually gave my Class A tour of the courthouse.
He probably just drink scotch. To come over to the house.
So anything stand out on here, wait
When he
for
retires
bills?
next year.
Evening, Chief and Jan. I haven't said
How are
hi to
you?
you two yet, so.
Yeah, okay, that's the Gagnon Kepler.
Because we call it the Elam Mafia over there. You just keep them happy.
Where, is that on this presentation or will it be on the next one? Because we signed the check today.
No, but I did Miller.
Okay.
She used to work at the repository and then left there and went to,
I saw it again, believe me.
Okay, are we ready?
So is that 14,000 in 2 months?
It is October 15th, 2024, 7 p.m., start of a second council meeting. All right, call to order. Diane Gunner, would you like to lead the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Blankenship. Joseph.
here,
Hensmore.
here,
Steiner.
Here.
Godwin.
here.
Bachler.
Here. All right. Motion for the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All right. Any additions or corrections or comments? Call for the vote.
Joseph.
Aye.
Hensmore.
Aye.
Steiner.
Aye.
Godwin.
Aye.
Bachler.
Aye.
Blankenship.
Unfinished business.
I suppose this will go under unfinished business since we've been working on it for a while. Had a post installation meeting with Trent from Small Business Technologies. We still have some loose ends to fill up, to tie up as far as getting all the ownership and all of that taken care of. But one thing we do need are we need a couple of shelves for the server rack, so that we can completely get all of it into the rack. And so you got a quote in front of you for 2 shelves to fit that particular rack. And so I would make a motion that we approve the 14902 for estimate for the shelves to be put into the rack so that we can complete that project and get everything secured so that we can meet our insurance company's recommendations.
I'll second the motion.
Any questions, comments on this? In that case, call for the vote.
Hensmore.
Aye.
Steiner.
Aye.
Godwin.
Aye.
Bachler.
Aye.
Blankenship. Joseph.
Aye.
Any other unfinished business? I would like to bring up one item, as mentioned at the last meeting, that according to our rules and regulations, if you miss 3 meetings in a row, you can be put out of council. However, we could not find where that's written down at all. The only thing we found is under the Ohio Revised Code, if you miss 8 meetings in a row, then you can be taken off council. Would you like to comment on what you found?
No, that's the gist of it. I believe we were on the phone discussing that, and I was like, well, where's the codified ordinance that says 3 misses means council can vote you off? And while looking, I couldn't find it, and I think it just turned into a urban legend. However, when looking, we discovered an Ohio Revised Code section that did say if you do miss 8 meetings it really doesn't create the option of council to remove you. It just says that your seat will be vacated. However, if there is an excused absence in there, your seat might still be protected. Now, you miss 8 meetings in a row, you're missing
4
4
months.
months?
Yeah, 4 months.
So a third of the year, so it's not necessarily as pressing as the 3 meeting rule.
But I found it interesting. The other thing I found is I'd believed this for years that it had been there. Maybe, and we can all take a lesson from this. Let's read the codified ordinances before we try to quote something that's not there. And so that was a misquote on my part also, because I fully believed it was in there, and it's not.
The Ohio Revised Code, is it just 8 meetings all told, or 8
In a
meetings
row.
in a row?
Consecutive meetings. Yeah.
I would think if to miss that many meetings, you'd have to have a serious illness.
Right.
Or one heck of an incredible vacation.
Well, there's that.
Or work schedule.
Duty.
Sorry, man, I keep forgetting about you. Okay, so okay, any other unfinished business? Let's jump to mayor's communications. As we said, the network has all been moved over. Fantastic job down there. Really enjoyed that. It's been needed for years. So that's a great thing. One item that I wanted to bring up, October, is when we have fire inspection month. I bring this up for one reason, is that we failed. And I say that because we're not exempt from the rules in the fire code. Instead of going around to all the businesses, including us, including the Veterans Park, and there was minor things. In our case, it was the exit lights. They're very important, and those can fail over time when you never notice it. So I want to thank the fire department for coming out and discovering that and making us aware of it, and also the Veterans Park, a few things over there, and we've gotten them corrected. So I think, and I'm sure they've gone through every business in town has gone through this, and take that they're here for your safety. So I make note of. Speaking of the fire department, we are looking at a new dispatch agreement. It is in today's packet, Resolution R 2416. I did visit with the fire chief, and I went over to the dispatch center, met the people there. We reviewed the numbers, and it looks very good. It's very competitive. Actually, there's several issues to this. One is it's still the best price. Number 2, there's no transition because it's what we've been using now. So we'll be going over to we'll be staying with the same company. The numbers have gone up from last year, but that's because we've discovered we actually have put in more calls than we thought we had. We've almost doubled the calls that we originally thought that we were going to have. So that did have a bearing on it. The price per call has gone up by a little bit. So those are things you might notice in there. On October 4th, I attended the All Hazards Conference. I did mention this at the last meeting. I was going to this on that Friday. It covered several things. The East Palestine train derailment. I got to meet their fire chief that was out there at East Palestine and what they did. And they operated an all-volunteer fire department. And they had everybody show up for that. It's pretty cool. But their response was actually absolutely incredible. For as horrific as that whole train incident looked, the response was good. The downtime was shorter than what they probably would have expected. The damage was a lot less than they expected. And then the Ohio EPA rep came in afterwards, and he lived out there for 7 months after the derailment. And he did all kinds of environmental tests. He dug down. One of the fears that you read online, if you read Facebook or anything else, is, oh no, how it's going to affect the Ohio River, how it's going to affect the aquifer, everything. You dig down 20, 25 feet, and it's a clay base. In other words, there's no place for these chemicals to go. And they dug down, I think they got to 12 feet and found no evidence of any residue. They checked downstream, they checked the air quality. They said in perspective that air quality was probably not as bad as your average outdoor campfire. So, yeah, I asked him then point blank, I said, so would you say there's not an issue coming out? I was asking his opinion. I love his answer to this. He said very clearly, it's not my opinion, it's what the facts show, and the facts show that nothing escaped from outside that area. So everybody's very safe, and, if anybody lives out near that area, I would say it's safe to drink the water, according to what his report was. But it's a very good day. They had a few other speakers there. Not much to note other than what I just went over. So that's that. Met with Jason Popeil about our swamp status. No, we don't have a swamp in Clinton that we're referring to. That is the SWMP, which stands for, it's something that measures our water quality coming out of our septic. That's something Summit County used to do, and now it's been moved over to us. If we don't take care of that ourselves, then it costs so much per resident, and it was an outrageous amount. Do you remember that $100 per resident per month or something, Matt? Do you remember that?
Remember.
Okay, anyways, it was such an outrageous number that it's something we need to monitor ourselves. There'll be more on that later. He's still sending more corrections.
This is for the stormwater?
Right. Yeah.
It was over $100 per resident if we stayed with the county.
Right. And so that is something you'll see coming, more information coming at some point.
So we're starting our own stormwater district. The village is absorbing those costs as of now,
Mm-hmm.
but the county was charging residents for that. That doesn't mean at some point we may not have to do the same things because we're learning what we have to do with the stormwater district.
Exactly. And we've already paid for part of this work up front here for this year, and that's in the budget. I think we're working the budget for the most expensive part of it to be next year. So.
Some of those requests, I'm hoping we can get some information from the county, who was our stormwater district before. As a good partner, I hope they would share that information with us to prevent us from gathering it. I need to get with Jason and ask him
Okay.
to follow up with that.
That'd be perfect.
It's our information. They should be able to give it to us, you know?
Yes. And one of the requests too was septics, where septics are, how many septics. That's related to stormwater. We're paying part of that monthly fee, or is it biannual or every 3-year fee that we're paying for a septic permit. That fee money is supposed to be gathering that information. So we'll be asking the health department for that. We'll see how well they're doing with our fee money.
And, yeah. And part of this will be mapping our water flow in different areas, and he's going to bring something. Kevin's going to fill it in as he sees there. He's not going to, like, make us a number one priority, but it's going to be as he's out to each location, and he notices something, he's going to fill it in, and that'll help get this documentation together. So that's going to work out well.
There are old maps of waterways and where it's laying and where it's supposed to be I don't know what they call it now. It's right at my house, under the road. That's been tampered with and jammed up by an individual.
Okay.
And then when the county Stark County came to fill in something that was falling in right at that point that they're not really sure where the line is between Stark and Summit County. And anyway.
There's a catch basin right at the county line.
Yeah. And then there's a route that water is supposed to take to get, when you're looking at I forget what that was called now, that big program we had about just the water area levels and so on. It's on the map that it has to go, that drainage under the road has to go under the road and keep going southwest till it gets to the canal or the river. That's mapped out. If you get some of these maps, I've got
But
at least one at home that we had gotten. I'm talking about what I'm seeing.
Would they be big roll-up maps, or would they be something smaller? Do you know?
I think they're folded.
Okay.
They're folded.
Maybe a Terry question.
And when the Stark County came to do their job, I did go out and commented because my neighbor was very upset across the road in Clinton that they were just digging in the ditch there right here. It's like so it was grass. They just did not listen to anybody except do what somebody told them to do an hour before, you know. They hand dug all that and they turned that water. And I dug in my pile of information and gave that neighbor the information he needs of who to contact and what the words are, you know.
Okay, if we can find those maps, that'd be very helpful, especially with
But
what's
that's
going
the
on.
whole village has that map. I mean,
Okay.
it's all mapped, the water
Mhm.
levels and
We have to
Things
look
like
in
that.
here. It's probably either in the safe or downstairs in our archives,
maybe.
I guess.
Could it be recorded with Summit County?
It should have been, yes,
I'll look and see.
Should've.
I'm sure I have a folder.
We pay
for it.
them for that, yes.
yes.
Tom Mayberry gave me a lot of his stuff. And,
Okay.
I can look on that and see what's written on the one
Okay,
that's buried in many papers.
that'd be fantastic if our engineers. That could help out quite a bit.
Yeah, and I don't know if that should be corrected or not. They were very, ignoring me totally.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, and this man, I don't know that he contacted them, with no return, and that he was interested, or didn't make any headway on it. But, maybe he did, I don't know. I can check in. But we need to know where those maps are and what the rules are for people that are building around here now too, because,
Well, now-
behind me is a swamp. It's a swamp that's between me and
Yeah.
Matt.
Well, there really are some actual swamps here, but that's not what this whole thing is referring to.
Sinking swamps.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jen.
My dad said so.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, if you can find those, that'd be great. And being aware that Summit County should probably have those.
Yeah, they should, yeah. They should want to look at them too.
Yeah. So I went to Northeast Ohio Managers and City Managers and Mayors Association meeting this morning. And one of the highlights from there, they went over the foreign investment in our communities. Now, granted, we may not think about this as affecting directly here in Clinton, that people from Japan, Germany, and Canada may be investing down here, but that's not the point. The point is that if you look at this area, as far as Cleveland could be another hot spot in the near future. All this investment means that we can still live in a place like Clinton and people have a place to work nearby. So that was encouraging that, there's still a lot of growth we can see, a lot of future, what we can see still living here in our town. This afternoon, I met with Donna Skoda and the Summit County Public Health. Actually, they came to our office. We sat right here and met for a little while. As you know, she's retiring. I will be out of town during her retirement party, which is too bad. I really would like to have gone to that. It's next week. It's next Wednesday. But she served our community for many years, and this is her last year. Her replacement was here with her, Christopher Barker, and I got to meet him as well as another person from her staff. One thing she brought a couple things with her. One, I'm going to tell you the Gatekeeper program right here. I'm going to leave these pamphlets out. If you know of an older person who might need checking up on or might need, just someone that might need looked out for, the Summit County is a great program for that. And you can people can sign up for that. I'll set this. It'll be up there on the desk. The other one is Summit County. Actually, I don't know how many of you have to pay for your own health insurance, but dental is one of those that is really vague and not very well covered. Summit County Public Health actually has its own dental services, and so if you know anybody, it's priced accordingly. You work with your insurance companies or work according to need, and they do a lot of things at a much lower cost. That's something you can look into if you want. There's information here on that. She wanted me to hand that out for the people in case anybody's interested. And that is all I have on the mayor's communications.
Can I correct one thing that I said earlier?
Oh, yes.
So the code section I was talking about earlier was 705.13, and it's actually 10 successive meetings, not 8. So it's an even higher bar. So 5 months worth of meetings there. And the way that the law is written is if you're not there, it shall operate to vacate the seat of a member. So if you're not here for 5 months straight, then under Ohio law, your seat's vacated. Unless authorized by the legislative authority, which would be some other action by the body. But I don't see it coming up. But I wanted to just correct myself because I said 8 instead of 10.
Yeah, thank you. And I thought we talked earlier as 10. I thought, well, you told me 8 this morning, so I'm going with what you said. So
Dreaming of 8 hours of sleep, that's where I'm at right now.
I can understand that.
There was 8 in there somewhere.
Right.
I still like the suit.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Council communications and council committee reports.
Before our next, council meeting, we'll have our finance committee meeting, so all are invited to that.
And what day of the week will that be on, Matt?
A Tuesday.
You sure about that?
Yes.
Isn't that election day? No, it's not. It's not this year. We're on normal schedule again. Okay. All right. Thank you. I bring that up because typically during election November we move out to Thursday. So this year we are going to actually still be here on an actual Tuesday.
This is the way it falls.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
So in a conversation with Trent, when we went around and we were looking at all the facilities, we were over at the fire station. The chief was concerned about internet failover and needing a backup service. And so Trent has looked into that. There are a couple of different options. We might be able to get a backup service through Spectrum, which carries our internet now, but there's also another program that he's looking into as well. So it's just something that we need to do, but it's all run on the internet, and so if the internet goes down and we don't have a backup, our 911 system can be compromised. It can run, so far what he's come up with or what we've found is some of them run like $20 a month. If you do a direct router, you might have to pay initial upfront service installation, but then it goes down to $10 a month for that backup. So it's pretty well worth it. So we're going to continue to look in that, see which is the most economical and best fit for the village.
Okay, well, thank you. Matt, we just checked the calendar.
I looked at it.
Okay. All right, so let's go back to what day of the week is that?
So with the election being Tuesday, November 5th, are we going to move our council meeting to Thursday, November 7th?
That was already done earlier in the year.
It was done earlier in the year,
Yeah.
so that's when the meeting will be.
Yeah.
The meeting will be on the 7th.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 o'clock the finance, 7 o'clock the normal council.
Sorry, I misspoke.
Oh, no problem. That's why I brought that up.
So that's,
Okay.
you know, and when this has happened in the past, we approve it earlier in the year, and then by the time it rolls around, sometimes we forget. So, and we should let the public know that
Yeah.
the meeting will be the Thursday, November 7th.
7th. And election day is always the first Tuesday after the first Monday, which is
yeah.
why we do have time. So if we had November 1st, that would not be an election day. So it's always the 2nd through the 8th, 9th is when it could be any of those days. All right. Thank you very much. Anything else at this point under council communications and council committee reports? All right. Thank you. Citizens' comments. Diane, did you sign up? No citizens' comments? Let's go. Keep in mind, what day is that? Halloween, October 31st, between 6 and 8, if I remember correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep that in mind. It's the next event coming out. Resolutions and ordinances.
All right. Resolution, these are the first readings. Resolution number R-24-14, a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county fiscal officer for 2025 and declaring an emergency. Resolution number R.
Rita, I'm going to interject here. This resolution, we need to pass, so I'll be making a motion to waive the 3-time reading. We do need to get that in because it establishes our tax levies with the county. So I make a motion to waive the 3-time reading for Resolution R-24-14.
Second.
Call for the vote.
Steiner?
Aye.
Godwin?
Aye.
Bachler?
Aye.
Blankenship? Joseph?
Aye.
Dinsmore?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion to adopt resolution R24-14.
Any questions, comments? I think you've already explained what the why. Call for the vote?
Godwin,
Aye.
Clackler,
Aye.
Blankenship. Joseph,
Aye.
Dinsmore,
Aye.
Steiner.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next.
Next, we have resolution number R-24-14. A resol- 15, I'm sorry. A resolution amending the annual appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the village for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, and declaring an emergency.
I'm just going to elaborate on this one. So if you're looking at the resolution, I'll go down through each line item just so you know why we're changing what we're changing. So the first one for the 4,500, that is basically our street light for the electricity. The bill's been higher than I anticipated, so this will get us through the end of the year. The second one, the 1825, the mayor's salary had increased back when the former mayor was here, so it went into effect at the last election, and I did not account for that in my original budget. So that is the increase in the salary that would be paid out through this year. The $15,000 is my hopes to cover us through the end of the year for our legal fees. Sort of to help offset some of that increase, our RETA fees, the fees that we pay them to collect our income tax has been lower, not due to less income tax, it's mostly due to less administrative costs on their end. So they're charging us less. $63,000 in the street fund, that is for the backhoe that we purchased. Our debt payments, I did not budget those in our original budget for some reason, so I've been using some of his other budget to help offset that, but I'm going to need to put that in there just so I can true up everything before the end of the year. The $69,000 in the permissive fund, that was originally budgeted for Clinton Road, but since we're not doing it this year, I'm taking that back out because I also changed our revenue coming in with the county that we won't be receiving, like that we're not going to do that. So I just need to offset that. The fire fund, $13,000. They're going to do some repairs to their siding and their gutters. Originally, he was thinking next year, but they got a good quote on it, so we're going to go ahead and do it this year. So that would be to cover that. And then the FEMA fund, we received a grant from FEMA for a new power cot for the ambulance, and we already received in the money, so I need a budget so that we can spend that out to purchase that cot. So it's actually already ordered in here. So
The FEMA fund and the street construction and maintenance are basically documentation for things we've already done.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
And we're okay doing the 3-time reading on that.
Next.
Okay, resolution number R-24-16. A resolution authorizing the mayor of the Village of Clinton to enter into a dispatch service agreement with the South Summit Council of Governments and declaring an emergency.
And this can definitely go 3 readings. We've already planned that out.
Okay.
Yes.
Is this something we're going to have to renew every year?
This
3 years.
3 year.
3 year?
Yeah.
And just so you know, Wayne did check with 2 other sources, so we
Right.
checked with 3 different providers for that.
Yeah, I always like the idea of shopping around to see where we're at. I think we're in good hands. Even with the increases, it's still the best deal in town.
Well, Chief Conroy does his due diligence. He is not going to recommend something that isn't the best service for us.
All right, new business. Council general discussion. Presentation of purchase orders and bills for approval.
Thank you, Mayor.
very back of your packet is our payment listings for the month, starting October 2nd. Noteworthy on there is Trident Asphalt and Paving. That was $12,340. That was essentially Shadow Lane. So the grinding and repair of Shadow Lane. And then I brought it up last meeting, but make note of our solicitor payment there. That's why we see some adjustments in our budget, because we're spending more than anticipated. We're at $7,000 again this month. So in the last 2 months, we spent $14,000 on our legal. So hence Leah having to adjust the budget. That's something we hopefully don't keep up.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Look for a motion to approve $57,239.92 to pay the bills, please.
So moved.
Okay, any questions, comments?
Is there a second?
She did. Jan seconded it.
No.
Oh,
Jan made the
I was
she
asking
said,
for.
you're right, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Second over here.
Second.
No, Jan said so moved. You know, Jan, when you use proper procedures like that, sometimes those of us get confused or not used to it. All right, any questions, comments on the budget? All right, with that, I call for the vote. What? Call for the vote.
Cocker,
Aye.
Blankenship. Joseph,
Aye.
Kinsmore,
Aye.
Steiner,
Aye.
Godwin,
Aye.
Motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, thank you very much.